Are you an accounting or tax professional who wants to stay ahead without spending a dime? Join thousands who trust insightful accountant and tax practice news to keep them informed and empowered. Get expert updates on QuickBooks, Xero, tax planning strategies, and workflow tips delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a solo bookkeeper, firm leader, or tax advisor, these newsletters are your shortcut to what's next in the profession. They're free, practical, and built for people like you. Visit insightfulaccountant.com and hit subscribe to start your smarter workflow today for free.
All right. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. My name is Gary DeHart, and I'm the publisher of Insightful Accountant and the host of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. My guest today, return guest, is Tim Sines, CPA. Tim is, actually, I'm going to let Tim give you his bio. He can do it a lot better than I can. But we're recording today on June the 9th of 2026, almost halfway through the year, which is a little scary for me. So it's really hard to believe. But Tim, thank you. Thanks for coming back, and thanks for being here.
All right. Thanks for having me back, Gary. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure to be on these podcasts with you. You're a great moderator.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. We're going to cover a couple of different topics, but before we dive in, give them just your 60-second elevator pitch bio about
Sure.
who is Tim Sines.
Okay. So I've been a practicing CPA for over 39 years. I have also had a passion for developing software. So I actually started developing back in the DOS days, and then when Windows came about, and then eventually moved everything into the cloud, where it seems like everything is going these days. But in my practice, I've basically been a tax, accounting, payroll. I've recently sold off all the accounting and payroll services that we've offered, and basically we're just a tax shop now. I'm also founder of Mango Practice Management, which is a full-featured, all-in-one solution for managing CPA firms, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. But that's basically my background.
Okay, so CPA, you've got the accounting, hands-on accounting side, and then software development side. You've kind of brought those two. You've had challenges within your own firm. I'm sure they kind of led you to down the road of software development, which I'm sure probably has about as many headaches as tax season.
Yeah, that's true.
I can only imagine. So, all right, we're going to start off with just a kind of a rapid fire, and so I'm going to mention an area of a firm or some struggles that firms kind of have, kind of a state of affairs, let's say, within firms, and just want you to give me a percentage of how many firms you deal with that have these problems. So we can kind of set the table. Hey, is this ongoing for everybody, or is it just one-off? So number one, staffing shortages.
Big common problem across the industry. So I'm fortunate enough to talk to a lot of CPAs. I go to a lot of events and shows. So I do get the benefit of talking to a lot of CPAs, and that seems like to be a common theme now. And with those shortages, a lot of people are starting to offshore because they can't find labor. And they're looking for solutions to actually streamline things within the practice to close the gap between, the amount of time that things take to do for a firm. Some of the common challenges you face.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
very common thing.
Yeah. So maybe we can automate some things that can take a little bit of the burden off of the staffing shortage, and then, or at least push it down the road a little bit so I don't have to deal with it today. All right. What about busy season burnout? Is it a real thing?
I think you can't escape it, just given the nature of the time frame to get the amount of work that you have to get done in 2.5 months, 3 months. So we're all going to experience some bit. We're all going to be working long hours, no doubt about that. But it is nice to have tools in place for your staff or even yourself, if you're a sole practitioner, to manage yourself, manage your firm better, to prevent burnout as much as you can. So picking up efficiencies anywhere along the line, versus instead of hiring it, trying to find qualified staff, having the right tools in place go a long way.
Yeah, I imagine. How about workflow chaos?
Similar. again, we're managing many things in a short period of time. A lot going on, a lot of intake of documents. Getting tax returns done, getting year ends done, financial statements done, getting audits done, and being able to manage your staff and having a high level overview of what's in the firm, what day did it come in, what are the due dates, what's the capacity of a given staff person, is this person out sick, do I need to reassign, but having insight and a high level view into what's going on with your firm goes a long way to eliminating a lot of stress within the firm. Again, it always goes back to the more information you have at your fingertips quickly to where you can make decisions helps. But project management, workflow, capacity planning are, again, they're very popular things within the industry now because we all want to pick up on and gain those efficiencies.
And do you find though that like across the firms that you deal with is most workflow pretty chaotic, or are firms really starting to embrace solutions to tame it?
It's amazing. I still talk to a number of firms that are managing their projects in Excel. It blows my mind. We have some that don't have any solution in place for project management, workflow management. And then we have some that are using, an existing solution. They may not be happy with it. But I guess the key is you do need a solution that's going to help you visually see where you're at the project level. As far as due dates go, are you missing information on a project? And also to see things down at the task level or the workflow level. So who's at bat to review the tax return? Who's up at bat to do the tax return? As a staff person, what tax returns do I need to focus on getting done now that are ready for me? And if I'm a reviewer within the firm, what clients are ready to be reviewed? So whether it's tax return or accounting, whatever the nature of the services you provide in your firm, being able to track all of that at a high level and then drill down in to see what's going on at the project level or the task level is really nice. I think you get more information with dashboards and being able to drill in and see certain things at the staff level, et cetera, than you would get in a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
So
certain.
every demo that we do, every CPA firm we talk to, project management is always front and center.
And are you seeing, like when you go into companies or into firms, are you seeing more tech stacks that are less fragmented, or are they still super fragmented? And oh, I've got this, I bought this because it looked cool and I wedged it into what I have in place, or are firms starting to embrace the holistic idea of a solution that brings it all together for them?
Exactly. It's a good point, Gary, that people are looking for an all-in-one solution because you do get added benefits of having some sort of crossover or integrations by having everything under, one platform, so to speak. So we do talk to people that are fragmented. They're using a separate solution just for project management. They're using a separate solution for document management. And so, they're what's the end result with that being fragmented is that you have to go into each of these solutions and you're not getting any crossover. So what you do get from an all-in-one is now I can bring in documents and associate them with a project. For example, have all your documents that pertain to that project, have that relationship built between the document management system and the project management, and notes and things like that are important when you're working on clients, and having everything in one place is a common theme out here now, because in the past there always have been a lot of fragmented solutions, and now it seems to be coming into an all-in-one type solution.
And from your, again, both backgrounds, you have accounting firm and software solution. Do you think the adoption is coming from the more availability of solutions, or is it coming from price points of solutions dropping, or accounting firms taking an operational stance or an operational look at their firms a little bit more critically?
All the above. You basically laid them all out perfectly. When you are fragmented, you tend to have more cost associated with a fragmented solutions. So an all-in-one could save some on the dollar value that you're paying out for those solutions. More importantly, it's the value, that you're going to get from the all-in-one. So even though you might be saving some costs, you're going to get added value from an all-in-one. And the availability, like you said, technology's rapidly changing with a lot of different things. So there are more tools available. There are more, there's outdated solutions out there, and then there's more modern and up-to-date solutions that have a lot more integrated into the whole platform.
Right. So then let's talk about everybody's favorite topic, or actually it's my least favorite topic, but we can't not talk about it, and that's AI. And it's not really my least favorite, but it kind of, you can't get away from it, right? And so that's kind of what makes me lean a little, wanting to lean away from it. But so where are you seeing AI helping, and I don't want to say hurting, but helping and not helping firms when you're like where it's just not really being used beneficially?
Yeah, I think we're starting, that's the buzzword AI in the industry now. And there's a lot coming down the road for AI that are going to really save a lot of hours in firms doing things. I mean, I'm very, very excited about AI. I would say I've gotten more excited in the last 6 months about AI than I ever have been, just knowing what the potential of AI can do or will be able to do for firms. And I'll just give you, a couple of examples of what I think is coming to the industry that's going to be huge for the CPA industry, and that is intaking of documents. So basically, an example, if I have a client's last year's documents, I can tell AI, have it built into the platform, to go email all my individual clients, go look in their last year's folder to see what documents they had. It's going to be able to scan those documents, know what those documents are. It's going to be able to generate an email with a request list with a unique link for that client so that the client only has to click the link and upload those documents. But what's nice is at a press of a button, AI could generate 400 or 500 emails to your clients requesting the documents, and AI scanned last year's documents to see and remind the client, similar to an organizer, of what you need to upload. Now, what's nice is AI can now keep track of what documents are not uploaded, automatically send an email reminder to the client and say, hey, you forgot to upload this W-2 or that brokerage statement. So basically what you have is AI doing the work of a staff person, requesting documents, seeing if the clients uploaded all their documents. It's all automated. So those kinds of things are coming in the way for document management. There's quite a few other things that are going to be coming that AI, obviously drafting emails is a big one, client collaboration. It's always nice to put another mind on your email and maybe polish up your email. AI is going to be able to scrape those emails and determine what clients are happy, not happy. You'll be having dashboards to know what clients have uploaded 100% of their documents, or only 70% of their documents, so that you can trigger, the project. There's so many things that AI are going to automate and really replace you having to do manually. It's amazing. I'm very excited for what's coming for AI.
Yeah, actually, just when you walked through that list of things that can be done, I mean, I don't know personally like how much time that is per client, but it's not 2 minutes, right? I mean, that's
Now,
a significant amount of time per client, right? That you're saving, which goes to staffing shortage. Well,
another big one, why I'm thinking about it, Gary, like me currently, we have clients that we prefer to upload the documents to the portal. They do it. We have some that do it every year. We have others that mail in their documents, drop off their documents. We have to scan those documents in. They go to a shared folder on the server. Now, currently, I have to have a staff person go get those documents, manually file them to the client folders, name the document, what they're for. AI is going to be able to scrape the whole folder, determine this document belongs to Gary. It's a Merrill Lynch statement. It's going to rename it, It's going to put it to the correct folder. So basically, there's a perfect example. You have AI that's replacing somebody from doing a lot of manual work for the intake of documents. That's just one of many use cases that's coming down the road for AI.
Yeah. How much do you use it daily in your job, in either side of the house, in the accounting side or in the software side?
I'm using AI currently for tax research. So it's a great, for doing tax research, and you can keep asking question after question to get to the answer that you're looking for, or the solution. So I use it for tax research. I use it obviously to draft emails in certain situations. If it's, an elaborate email regarding a tax situation, I might want to put AI in there. There's, like I said, AI's coming to where it's going to be integrated into the platforms, and that's going to be coming rapidly. But I'd use AI as a tool every day.
Yeah, I'm using it more. I've got I don't know if it's truly a chat or what you want to call it, a GPT, but that is just doing kind of a month, no, weekly kind of signals, right? Just kind of
Yeah.
listening what's going on in the market right now. And what's funny for me, I probably 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago, tried to get, I don't remember if it was in, I don't know which platform it was, but it said, hey, I need you to do, I didn't use the term listening signals, use something else. And it provided back this loop of, oh, you have to do this, that, and the other thing, then do this, then do that. And gave this just long list of terrible instructions. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, well, I'm not going to do all that. So I just kind of threw my hands up. And 2 to 3 weeks later, went back to it and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
set this up." Boop! It did it, and it set it up, and it was running, in 10 minutes, if that. And it changes so rapidly, right? The
It,
developments.
it's amazing. That's why I'm very excited about what's coming down the road, all the use cases for it,
Hmm.
and how to integrate it into the platform to really, really give you insight into clients, staff, much more information, a lot. Even as a report generator, I mean, you can even generate reports from it, which is huge.
Yeah. Do you see anywhere where it's just not really being helpful? I don't want to say hurting, but where it's just really not being super helpful in firms, or more of a distraction?
Well, I have a good example. I actually tried it with a AI assistant, like a receptionist.
Okay. Yeah.
So, obviously we have voicemail. Everybody has voicemail, but what I was trying to use it for was to provide more information for somebody that's calling in, that the AI agent could actually answer a lot of the questions without me having to answer the questions.
Hmm.
And direct calls, and but as it turns out, I had a lot of complaints from that. So I took it down.
Okay.
So a lot of clients weren't receptive to it. They thought it was a little long-winded, little wasted too much time.
Okay.
Uh, I thought it was kind of neat. So, but I took it down.
Yeah. Still want a personal touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. Is there, from a practice management perspective, kind of what are the processes that absolutely, if somebody's listening to this and they're currently don't really have good processes in place, or don't have a lot of automation in place, do you have like a one, two, and three things that must be automated first and immediately?
Super question. I love that question.
Well, I
Um,
actually got it from chat, but
okay. Yeah, that's the beauty of the modern day platforms, is you can automate things. So for example, when I had my monthly accounting, they were monthly recurring type of engagements. 99% of them fixed fee. So do I want to generate invoices every month for 100, 150 monthly recurring clients? So an automation would be, you can set up a recurring invoice with a recurring payment schedule. So for example, in Mango Practice Management, Mango will literally go collect the money at a specified time, come back in, create the invoice, associate the payment with the invoice, and optionally release time. So that's a automation. If you can imagine having to generate 100 and 150 invoices manually, and then
yeah,
email them out, or some firms still mail, I don't know why, mail invoices, but I mean, that's an automation. So another good one, and this is a good example for Mango when we're doing demos, is, believe it or not, there's a lot of firms that still have issues collecting. A lot of money's over 30, which is a big problem. So with Mango, we have automated statement reminders. Any client that's late, we automatically email out the statement with a payment button in that body of the email. And it reminds that client to make a payment, that they have an open balance. And we set up an interval, and you can nag the client every 3 days, 5 days, 10 days. If the client does not make a payment, they're going to get another email. So there's another example of an automation that you don't manually have to go generate your statements. The system's going to do it automatically. So it's going to find those clients that are past due. And we found that firms that have turned that on have actually sped up their collection process, and clients that typically paid late, once they went over 30, they got the statement, they started paying on time because they didn't want to get the statement reminders. We had a client, and this is a real life example, large firm, $1.8 million over 60 days old.
Oh, wow.
Over 60, not 30, wow. 60. Wow. So they got in a bad habit of just letting clients pay when they wanted to pay. And they didn't do statements manually. And if you don't nag clients, they're not going to pay you in some cases. Right. So they turned on the statement reminder, and they started collecting all those past due balances. And they said all these clients are now paying on time. So it was a good process for them to automate that. There's other automations. Those are the two that are big for me because, we want to get our invoices out the door quickly. We don't want to be held up getting our invoices out, so you can automate that.
Right. And I think too, I mean, obviously it's a critical business function, but it's not a function, I think this is a fair statement. It's not a function that's bringing value or creating value, because it's not anything new, right? You're trying to get what what I'm already owed. So right. To me, yes, there's obviously value getting that money in the bank, but if I can automate that, not have to put a body on it, that person can be using their time producing something that's revenue generating or solving a big problem, much, much better use of time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then, so kind of keeping in the AI theme, any tips on bringing AI into the firm without causing chaos in a firm?
I think it's going to be a learning curve for a lot of firms to understand what the AI agents can do for them. The key is going to be how platforms that are out there are going to implement and integrate AI into the existing solution. That's going to be the key. I mean, we can all use, ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever tool you might be using outside the application. But where it's really going to be interesting is to see how these platforms evolve into integrating AI into the platform. Yeah. And I think the more and more, in my opinion, the more and more it's integrated and it's more user-friendly, there's going to be a better adoption of it. I don't think there'll be a lot of friction once they see the benefits of it.
Yeah, I would think. And do you find, like, when you go into firms, what's the field, or not the field, what's the pulse around AI? Are they love it, hate it, don't want to deal with it?
It's I'm trying to do an analogy. It's amazing that a lot of firms are using still outdated platforms. What I mean outdated, maybe they're desktop, they're not even in the cloud. Yeah. They're losing a lot of benefits of not having a cloud-based application. So we are still finding that firms are now just adopting that idea of having things in the cloud and security and the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud. We have other firms that are on top of the technology. And I think it's mixed, but there's a lot of firms that are looking for the latest and greatest. They're looking for AI. They want to use all these tools out there for their firm. And then we have other firms, they're just stuck in the mud and they're doing things the way they've always done them, and they're not receptive to a whole lot of change. I mean, as well as I do, Gary, I don't know if it's true or not. I feel like uh, on the bell curve, there's a lot more older CPAs in the industry that have been practicing for many
Right.
years versus younger. I don't know what's your opinion on that. I find that there's more.
Yeah, I think that's true. Although I think, as you start going to shows and now, trade shows aren't necessarily representative of the market as a whole,
Yeah,
but I think as we look at list of like our top 100 pro advisors over the years, a lot of those people who were on that list, 10 years ago, let's say,
yeah,
aren't going to shows anymore. That I don't know if they've retired. I don't know if they just, aged out, or if they're just like, I've, been there, done that. Don't go to
yeah.
conferences anymore. But it does seem like the conferences, the age is getting younger.
Again,
But
younger.
I, yeah,
Yeah,
but I think there's still a lot of gray hair, obviously, that
yeah.
that's in the space.
I talk to a lot of people, that they say, yeah, I'm only going to be practicing, a year or two more. They've been in the industry for many, many years. Those are the ones that are not receptive to a lot of change,
Yeah,
because they're coasting to a 5-year finish line.
right.
Um,
I'm
and
getting out. Why start over?
exactly, yeah.
So what about sticking in the whole practice management, which is kind of the overarching theme here? Um, what size firms should be looking at practice management? Is it firm of one or firm of 50, or what do you see where it's most beneficial?
That's the beauty of Mango practice management. I think it's useful for a solo practitioner to help him manage himself, his time, makes him more efficient. Um, Even if he's a sole practitioner, and a lot of them say, I don't need to track my time. I'm fixed fee with everything. I've always debated that it's better to put the time in, because now I can see the utilization for myself. Am I
Yeah.
billing out 70% of my time, or am I billing out 80% of my time? If I'm not tracking time accurately, I really don't get that information. I might have it in my head, and maybe I only care about what I collect every month. I don't care about anything else. I don't care how efficient I am. So there's arguments for and
Mm,
against, a lot of the benefits you get from tracking time. Um, so getting to your question, I think Mango benefits a sole practitioner. Um, our sweet spot is probably 5 to 20 users. In that area is the bulk of our users, but we have a lot of bigger firms that use Mango.
mhm,
Every firm is different that I found. An audit firm is going to be using project management, tracking time differently. I mean, they have staff maybe out at the site that are tracking time. I have found that every firm kind of operates a little bit differently. The way they invoice, the way they manage their workflow, the way they assign tasks. Is it round robin? Is it assigned? So that's the beauty of finding a flexible platform that allows you to do batch billing, one-off invoicing, recurring invoicing, track time with timers, timesheets. So I think, in my opinion, Mango Practice Management's positioned for the sole practitioner all the way up to enterprise.
okay.
And there's a
Yeah,
lot of
and
benefits to be had.
I hadn't really thought about, you mentioned about the tracking your time, even if you're not billing for it, just knowing where you're spending your time, just the
Yeah.
value of that. I've never been in a role that really emphasized or really needed that, but I was just yesterday thinking about, we've added some new things that we're selling, and it's causing us to spend a lot more time on these things. And it's a great example of, okay, well, it costs X, but now we're spending two or three times the amount of time that we were on using on it, spending on it before. It makes it a less profitable product. I mean, we
Well,
all know that, um, but I've not really thought of it that way until literally yesterday. I was sitting, thinking like, okay, we're doing all this activity,
yeah.
and there's benefit in it for us as well, but it just didn't really dawn on me as we started selling this how much more time it was going to take for us
I'll give you a
in
perfect
making
example.
these things happen.
I'll give you a perfect example why it's beneficial to track time. And that's why I say I've debated with many CPAs about the benefits of tracking time. But even if I'm a sole practitioner or anybody within the
Yeah.
firm, there's many, many things going on in a given day. And if you're disciplined in tracking that time during the day, and for me personally, anything that's outside of scope of engagement, I get a phone call about something, buying real estate, doing a 1031 like-kind exchange, whatever it might be, I am tracking that time. If I'm not tracking that time, I'm giving away that time.
Mhm.
But I literally gamify it to myself. In other words, if I'm utilized 70% for billing, I want to literally, if that's where I was at last month, I want to see if I can get to 75% utilization. I want to get to 80% utilization. So it really gives you some instruments to fly your plane. If you want to do an analogy, I know
Mhm.
exactly what altitude I'm flying at. I know exactly the heading. I'm not guessing. I think I'm at this altitude. I know what altitude I'm at. I know my utilization rate. I know what my realization rate is for every single client. If my standard billing rate is $200 an hour, am I billing 100% of the 200 or only 80% of the 200? Am I billing 150% of the 200? So now I
Mhm.
can easily, without thinking, I know in my mind this client I'm losing money on. But now I can go get a report and I can identify my best and my worst clients. So now I've got all that information. So those are the benefits, even for a sole practitioner, of tracking time and managing themselves.
Mhm.
So a lot of
And
benefits.
so are you still, what would you say percentage wise that you're, of the conversations you're having are people who do track time, again, whether they're billing by time or not, but tracking versus not tracking?
The larger the firm, the more people in the firm, the more strict they are about tracking time, making
Yeah.
sure everything is tracked, whether it's to an engagement or not to an engagement. Um, so I found the bigger the firm, there's more structure in place for tracking time because management wants the reports that you get. They want the realization reports. They want the utilization. They're using it for bonuses at the end of the year. They're using it for a lot of things to manage staff and manage clients for that
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
I used it to generate revenue, to be quite honest with you, which is the most important thing to me. So I'll go mid-month and end of the month, and I'll say, go give me all my time that's not to tax, accounting, or payroll. Give me all my other time. Mango will go find all those clients that have other time. I may have 10 invoices I can get out the door for $2,500 worth of revenue that I
Yeah.
never would have captured had I not tracked my time and been diligent and disciplined with that. So um, I always say if I'm going to capture that time and I'm going to give it away, like write it off, at least I know how
Yeah.
much time I'm writing off too.
Right.
So then that makes you more disciplined and saying, hey, I'm not going to keep giving away my time, which I don't give
Right.
away time anymore. So
Yeah. Oh,
it
that's
just
great.
it just helps you in that area.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with your airplane analogy, and we're going to start landing the plane here. And that
Okay.
is with, and this will be a little more specific to Mango, but we already talked about firm size, really from one to many, and is who should be using a practice management because it does make you much more efficient. But from a Mango specifically, I think you said 5 to 10 or 20 was your sweet spot. So what am I looking at from an onboarding time perspective of bringing on a new solution like a Mango and really learning how to use it?
Good question again. Of course, that always comes up because people don't want friction with having to move from an old solution to a new solution. So that's always front and center of a concern. Hey, I like your solution, but now what's involved to get moved over onto it? So it's quite an easy process in Mango. We've been at it for many, many years now, and we've worked with many other applications as far as getting data out and into Mango. We do have an implementation team that works with the incoming customer, so they're not doing this process on their own. It's normally a 1 day cutover. So once we
Hmm.
have it scheduled that we're going to meet with the client, we're going to assist them in getting their data out of their solution. It's normally hitting a few buttons and all that data is coming in. We, of course, reconcile open AR to the AR in the old solution, open WIP, open time to the time in the old solution. We want to make sure everything comes forward. We go a step further. We actually bring in invoice history. So you have a nice reference to what you've invoiced clients previously. And we also, I think, kind of tend to act like a consultant in a way, because we're actually working with you of how you would like to use Mango. As far what engagements do you want set up at your firm level, what activities, how these activities are used. So the implementation really helps you get out of the gate on the platform in a good way. And it's normally a 1 to 2 day cutover. It's not a lot. And then of course, after that, we do training. However you want to structure it with the firm, big firms, small firms, staff, managers, partners, etc.
Yeah. And do you find it's best if there is a champion, so to speak, at the firm, somebody who's really driving it forward?
Yeah, and larger firms tend to have an IT person. So these larger firms bringing that data in, we typically work with an IT person, which is good. Some of the larger firms, there's normally somebody there that's very technical. So whoever's technical about the software that they're using, we're going to work with them to get their data out and into Mango.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I think now, if you want to pop up that slide, unless we've missed anything, I'm just checking my notes here. I think we really covered most of the things we said we were going to talk about, but there is on the slide here just a way you can reach out and connect with Tim and the team at Mango. If you have any questions on the product or practice management or the future of AI or any number of things, right? So where else, what events? This is June the 9th. Probably won't get this out before Scaling New Heights, which is next week. What events will you guys be exhibiting at this year?
We are currently at Engage in Las Vegas. So we're currently there. As you mentioned, we're going to be at Scaling New Heights in Orlando, Florida next week. I will be doing a breakout session in the morning, which any attendees, that's going to be, and all the information provided to attendees. We have a show. I don't know the dates exactly, Gary, coming up. I believe it's in Ohio. You might be aware of that one, Ohio. I think it's more geared towards QuickBooks.
Is that's not the PASBA event,
don't recall it. Yeah, I don't recall it. But of course, we do webinars throughout the year and podcasts like these with you, Gary.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, and so we will see you in Orlando. When will you be there?
I will be arriving this Sunday. The show starts Monday. Yep. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I believe Wednesday afternoon is the last day of that show.
That is correct. Yep. And so, yeah, I think I get there Saturday, or I know I get there Saturday, head out late Wednesday afternoon. So we will certainly see you down there.
Yeah, I'll see you down there, Gary. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
This episode of the Accounting Insiders podcast is brought to you by Insightful Accountants Be Insightful membership program. Get 9 expert-led training tracks, over 30 CPA hours a year, hands-on workshops, and year-round premium content to grow your skills and your practice. Learn more at blog.insightfulaccountant.com. Just click the premium member content button.